Welcome to the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. I want to thank Lake Sumter State College as well. Right now, we are talking with South Lake High head coach Brad Lord. He's on the program. Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Thanks, Kyle, for having me.
Well, it's been a heck of a season for you guys so far. 5-3 on the year. Let's describe your season to us so far.
Well, you know, we've had some messy games and we've played some good games. So our process is our key, how we go through practice. Lost a tough game at the Villages, lost a tough game at Nature's Coast week 1 at our house, and but won some good games. Going into Tavares on a Thursday on a short week and beating them. They didn't. I don't believe they saw that coming. We beat Forest and beat a Horizon team that, even though they're 1-6, they're probably the best 1-6 team we ever played. They had a great running game. Our team handled the adversity of Milton. That was good to see because I didn't really know what I had. But when you go in and you have to prepare on a Saturday and then do Zoom calls on Sundays with the kids and play Monday night and then return and play our rival on Friday night and win 2 games in 1 week. So we're pleased with that. But, this one's the big one. We pointed towards, we wanted to be there, have an opportunity to play for a district championship, and we do.
You said that a couple of weeks ago on our program, and here we are talking about South Lake High School, who was 0-10 2 years ago. You take the program over last year, you win 2 games. Now you're competing for a district championship. That's amazing. That's a heck of a job by you guys.
Well, yeah, I'm blessed. I have a great coaching staff. I get to be like Bobby Bowden at the end of his career and watch the coaches coach and get our kids ready, and we're blessed. We have some great coaches on staff. We got an administration at the school that believes in us, and we got a great booster program.
Yeah, a fantastic booster program down there at South Lake High School. Again, Lake Mineola coming in at 3-5. They got Mike McGlynn as their head coach this season, so should be a fun one to play against a former NFL guy.
Well, I know Mike. So Mike and I go back. He was at Windermere Prep. They came in and beat us at Foundation. When I had Foundation, I had a pretty good team that year, and Windermere Prep beat us that year. And, that was our only loss I ever had against Windermere Prep when I was at Foundation. We were 6-1 against them, but Mike's team came in one year and beat us, and I got a lot of respect for Mike. I know what he did at West Orange, and I know he'll have Lake Mineola ready to go. They got a lot of talent. As far as I'm concerned, the district goes through Lake Mineola, and I told everyone that at the beginning of the year. They've been the district champs for several years. They got a ton of talent. They're a polished program, and, Mike's going to even make it more polished.
So let's talk about your team coming in. You've looked, fairly polished this year. I mean, there's a lot of things that you guys are trying to work on down the stretch here, but you guys have won 5 games, especially that game against Tavares. I think that shocked a lot of people coming in and being able to come in there and beat that Tavares team, because Tavares' defense is one of the best in Lake County by far.
Yeah, we played a good game. We played a smart game. We won the turnover game. We beat them on special teams. You win the turnover game, the penalty game, special teams, you're usually going to win football games. If we did that against them, they had an excellent defense. I mean, we went head-to-head with Mount Dora. It was down to the wire. They won 35-28. Mount Dora's offense is the best offense I've seen this year.
They are fantastic. They got Time Air Gaines over there. Of course, Jake Seppi, the quarterback, having a pretty good year for them as well. They got a really good offensive line over there at Mount Dora.
They do. And, we went toe-to-toe with them. And it could have went on the other end, too. It could have flipped. So we've been in every game. No one has come in and beat the snot out of us. Like I said, last week showed me a lot about this team. It's hard to play Monday, Friday. It's a very hard thing with high school kids. And we handled it and took care of business, and that's how we're treating this district championship. It's not about hype and all this stuff. It's about do our job, win every rep, take care of business. We're taking a businessman's approach because we have to with Coach McGlynn. Coach McGlynn's an awesome coach, and he's going to have his kids ready.
He is. You know, what was really cool was Fox 35 showed up to the school this past week, I believe it was, and that was really cool. How did the kids take that?
So our school has gotten a lot of spirit. Our administration has done an unbelievable job in the school. We're a B school now. So we moved up, and you can see it with the kids that we have a lot of spirit there. I expect Friday night to be a pretty busy night at South Lake.
It's going to be a fun one, and it was against Eastridge the last game out. I mean, that was a big win against obviously a crosstown rival there over in Claremont is where they play. Eastridge was a good football team coming in there, and you're able to put a relative beatdown on them, 24-3. Maybe some things you could have done in that game to prepare for Lake Mineola.
We once we got up to 24-3. I started pulling guys out because we wanted to be ready for the district game after. But, I mean, Eastridge, Uriah Maynard's a nice running back. We kept him in check most of the night. He had a few good runs, but we pretty much stuffed him up. We won on the line of scrimmage, and that's how I coach. Yeah. I'm going to put everything around the line of scrimmage. We'll dazzle some skill guys in, and we want to pound the ball on offense, and we want to tackle on defense.
That's old school ways of thinking right there. I mean, ground and pound. It still works to this day. If you go back and watch a 1940s style offense with the triple option, the flex bone, that still gets the job done.
Look at Army this year, right? Yeah. South Lake hasn't won a district championship since 1996. That's a long time. They haven't been relevant in the district for a while. Coach Woolham had them a few years, but Coach Woolham had some brutal districts. He had Edgewater in it one year, and then he'd go to another district and be in Vanguard. He'd have Vanguard.
Yeah.
So he had some tough districts when he had some good teams. So we have an opportunity to do something that South Lake hasn't done in a long, long time. But if we get too ahead of ourselves and start thinking about the game and not the process, we'll be in trouble. We have to take care of business, take care of the process, and it's going to be a dogfight. They got a ton of talent. They've also played a harder schedule than us. They've played Manatee. They've played Hayden City. They played Lake Gibson. And we did play a pretty tough schedule this year. I mean, probably the lowest team we played was Nature's Coast, and they're 4-4. Or Eastridge, probably, which is a rivalry game. So we've played, the Villages have a winning record. Tavares, they're non-district. Mount Dora, I wanted to play tough teams in the non-district games to get us ready for the district championship.
What's it been like having Mark Woolham back as part of the football team?
It's awesome because he likes to run the ball too. So it makes me very happy. And Mark's a coach. I mean, he's a professional coach. I got unbelievable. Coach Hawley, my assistant head coach, is fantastic. Our two defensive coordinators, Roman Tatum and Brandon Griffith, they've brought Najim Hossein on as a DB coach. Eddie Luce, was with me year one, who played for me at Foundation. He's done an unbelievable job. We got Ben Keith, who played at Georgia Tech, played with the D-line with Eddie. Corey Raymond, who was All-American at Southeastern, is coaching our receiver. So he's a former player of mine from Foundation. And I got Carl Womack, who's a former player of mine from Foundation. Coach Acton has done a great job. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to tell you, our JV coaches have done an outstanding job. So our JV kids have been well coached. We're excited to bring them up next year. Yeah. Some of them will be coming up at the end of the season.
That's awesome. That's fantastic, especially to have a feeder program into your varsity program is really good. That's something I love to see South Lake putting emphasis into because it's very important to have that.
Well, yeah, and I think the community sat back and watched. I mean, they've given us some good support. There's more support out there, but they wanted to see what we were going to do. And you go 2-8, even though we could have been 5-5 last year. But when you go 2-8, they're like, "Oh, this guy's come over here. He says he's going to change everything." But I think they see the change now. I mean, the change is because we got great coaches and the kids bought in. The day after we lost to Olympia last year in November, I said to the kids, "You want 2 weeks off?" They said, "No, we'll start working out next week." We had 60 to 70 kids at workouts every day.
when you have commitment like that from your guys, obviously that's from the top down, but you get some real leaders on the team that aren't coaches, that are players.
Yeah, we do. And we're young. We only graduated 11 seniors this year.
Yeah.
So we're in a really good position. Our kids, they're buying into it. They eat, drink, and sleep in football. And it's great to see.
It's absolutely great to see.
And they're doing it in the classroom too, which I'm most proud of. We've made a huge leaps in the classroom and on attendance.
That's huge.
Yeah. It all correlates.
We'll talk about some of those players in just a little bit. We're going to take a short break here on the Sports Hub. We'll come back with more with Coach Lord in just a moment.
Is pain or restricted range of motion keeping you on the sidelines? Get back in the game with expert orthopedic care from UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics provides robotic-assisted surgical joint repairs and replacements, post-operative care, and inpatient rehabilitation services, all close to home, right here in Lake and Sumter counties. And for those unexpected injuries, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics offers convenient walk-in and same-day appointments. To learn more or to schedule an appointment with one of their specialists, call 352-323-5665.
Hey everybody, we are back here on the Sports Hub. Thanks for joining us. We're talking with Salt Lake High head coach Brad Lord. Brad, thanks for coming on the show again.
Yeah, it's exciting to be here.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we're in the mix, so I could be here.
Dad,
80. I was telling my kids yesterday, 85% of the kids or 80% of the kids, I saw a number, don't get to play in the district championship ever. I mean, so we're enjoying this week as well as preparing.
This is huge for the school. I mean, I would imagine that there's some buzz around the school.
There is.
The parents are excited. The kids are excited. I couldn't imagine. Be a part of that team. You said since 1996, there hasn't been a district championship team at South Lake High School.
There's one banner in the gym, 1996.
96.
Yep.
All the kids that are on the team weren't born then.
Correct. and you look at kids like who came out of South Lake after that. Demps, Kelly Joyner, they never won district championships. Mm-hmm. I think Kelly's year they might have, if he didn't have broke his leg in week 3 or something. He had like 1,000 yards after week 3 or 1,300 yards. But that's our goal. They haven't won a district championship since '96. Again, I go back to the number. There's so many teams kids that never get to play for this. Yeah. So I want my kids to enjoy the moment and be in the moment, not project. Don't rush Friday night here. Enjoy every bit of it.
And on the other side, the Lake Mineola kids, they're going for another district championship this year. A lot of people counted them out.
Well, I didn't. I know some of the kids that they had, who they kept, and I knew Mike McGlynn would have them ready. Mike's a great coach.
Yeah, very, very exciting to go up against Lake Mineola. So it's cool that we have an Lake County district rivalry going after the district championship too. I think that's a really good thing for football in our area.
Yeah, I hope there's a lot of media coverage out there. I don't know who's covering it, but I'm pretty sure there is. When the Sentinel calls Lake County about a game, that's important because they don't usually call Lake County about many games. Yeah. So they cover it, but they don't. You know what I mean? They got that heart of all of Orlando. So, we've been getting some talk. Chris Hayes has known me for a long time, so he's been talking to me about the game and stuff like that.
Chris Hayes, a great reporter. I love Chris Hayes' stuff.
He's the best.
I look up to Chris Hayes. He's awesome. But for South Lake, coming in with Trey Kelly. Trey Kelly, of course, your quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards this year in 8 games. Has 6 touchdowns this season as well. Actually, 8 if you count his rushing touchdowns. Having a pretty good year.
Yeah. Sometimes sophomore quarterbacks who start their whole freshman year regress. Trey's had some hiccups, but he's a learner. He's a fighter. He's very coachable. He's one of our leaders. As a sophomore, being a leader on a team that's doing this well, that's a big thing. Has a great GPA. he did everything. He goes to quarterback camps, went on the bus trip, went to the college camps. He's all in about football. He's one of the guys who wanted to start right away after we lost that Olympia game last year.
Now for Trey too, he came in and he started as a freshman, of course. Usually freshman, sophomore, they start behind guys. You usually have like a junior, a senior quarterback. He comes in and he just starts right away. He doesn't get.
We threw him to the wolves. Okay, I'm a big believer for freshmen and the senior are even. You play the freshman because you're going to have them for 4 years. Yeah. We threw him to the wolves last year. He took some hiccups and some learning. Ran for his life a little bit. But, we got a much better offensive line. Coach Acton's done an and Coach Womack and Coach Acton have done an unbelievable job with our offensive line this year. We're moving people around. As you can see, we're pretty balanced. We rush the ball pretty good. And I'm a coach who believes in the line of scrimmage, right? That's where I want to win both sides of the ball on the line of scrimmage. Usually you win a lot of football games that way.
Yeah, well, you have this year for sure. You got Johan Messier, team leading 76 tackles, 12.5 tackles for loss this year, 9 sacks, 2 caused fumbles. This guy's having a heck of a year.
Explosive. Unbelievable athlete, too. He's going to go, he probably will go the JUCO route, but he'll be a Division I player. He's a great kid and just an outstanding player, high motor. Him and Jesse Barker at the ends, that's at my previous school, I had 4 kids go D1 from the defensive line. They talk about Danny Stutzman, and Danny ran free behind the defensive line he had. Danny was an unbelievable player, but we had this defensive line I have now is close to that defensive line I had at the previous school, and that's something to be said because every one of those kids is a Division I school.
Yeah.
So Murphy Conley, Anthony Johnson in the middle. I mean, they're young. They're sophomores. Murphy's is a junior, but Anthony Johnson's a sophomore. Jesse's a junior. We also have 2 defensive ends who come in and give them a blow that are freshmen and sophomores. So we're recycling there and trying to keep our guys fresh.
With those 9 sacks that Messier has, he has nearly 70 yards of total yardage lost. That's nearly a full football field. He can get there by the end of the year.
Yeah, he made a play in the spring game. Was out. The ball bounced, and he made like such an athletic move to get it, and then ran for a 40-yard touchdown. He also plays fullback for us. So we're using kids both ways, which sometimes big high schools don't do. But, we want our best athletes on the field on both sides of the ball.
You also have Kedrick Powell, exciting 6'2 junior, 344 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. And Isaiah Henderson, a 6'3 senior with 258 yards receiving as well. Those guys have had a big impact.
Isaiah's been out the last 2 games. He'll be back this week. Kedrick Powell, he's had an outstanding season. Another kid who could be a Division I receiver. Got to get him. He just moved here last year. Got to get him in the weight room in the offseason. But Marcel Walker's having a really good year for us. Malik Holman running the ball. Love it. He's another 2-way player. Plays linebacker, runs the ball for us. So we like to run the ball. Because when you run the ball, you do a few things, right? You control the clock, and you get physical.
And you limit the team's possessions on the other side of the ball.
Correct, and we need to do that this week because this Lake Minneola team is explosive. I've watched them on film. They're outstanding, and again, they're extremely well coached.
Yeah, you mentioned the running back there, Malik Coleman, 672 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns this season. A really good guy. You got a lot of smart guys on the team too. I want to talk about some of the guys that you have with 4.0 or higher GPAs. You got Jesse Barker Jr., the 6 foot, 230-pound defensive end. 4.6 GPA this guy has with 55 tackles. He's a big part of your defense.
He is, and he's going to go play on Saturdays. He's got so many options, right? He's going to get bright futures in Florida. He's going to every Ivy League team in the school in the nation's on after him as a player. And you look at the Patriot League schools too. So he's opened himself for a lot of options to go to the next level. He's one of our heart and soul guys. He's one of the leaders on our team. He has been since day one when I walked in the door. Great kid to coach, coachable. Trey Kelly also has an outstanding GPA. Big time students. Our football team is way ahead of where we were academically last year, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, you said that actually last year to me when you came onto the program. You wanted to get ahead academically as well as athletically.
It all correlates, and I open the media center in the morning at 6:30, and they know the ones who struggle to even work hard so that they don't have to come to 6:30 in the morning study hall with Coach Lord in the media center. So they'll, we that's when our study hall is 6:30 to 7:15, and I've only had 4 kids in there this year, so I'm happy about that.
Definitely, that's a big accomplishment. You talk about the accomplishments of South Lake High School, not just, of course, academically, but athletically. I mean, last couple of years, South Lake has been doing a lot of good things, and it's just great to see South Lake have some sort of a process now.
Well, they got a great administrative team. Mr. Benson and his assistant principals are phenomenal. They pour their hearts in there. My athletic director pours his heart into it. I wasn't used to coming to Lake County and having athletic directors teach 5 classes, right? They really work hard. They have to teach. Orange County, the athletic directors don't teach. Maybe weightlifting, 1 class. The school I came from had 2 athletic directors and an assistant athletic director. They didn't teach, right? So watching these athletic directors teach and get the stuff done they're doing in Lake County, it's amazing to me. I don't know how they do it.
Principal of South Lake was just named the Lake County Principal of the Year as well. That's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I've been an entrepreneur a lot of my life, but I've worked for some people. He's the best I've ever worked for, hands down. Unbelievable. Cares about what his people think, listens to his people, takes what they say good, works it into the system. I mean, just a tremendous leader.
What's your message to your team this week as you head into a district championship game for really, you're hoping to win the first time since 1996. Have they played in the district championship game? I'm not sure if they haven't
played for a long time.
I mean, think about that.
I think the last time was like 10 years ago, Mark told me. I want them to have fun. I want them to have fun, enjoy the moment, and do their jobs. And then whatever, if we go out there for 48 minutes and go our hardest for 48 minutes, we're going to be rewarded.
Yeah.
Okay. And, football's a weird game, right? The balls bounce different. The refs call things, football, you got to be, and that's why I love the game, because you got to move on from it. You got to move on. You got to quickly move on. And I just want them to enjoy this moment and learn. What did we do right championship week practicing? What did we do wrong? What could we work better on? One of the things I'm really proud of this team is our kids are watching a ton of film. And that's important for a team to be pretty good.
Yeah. For sure, and for South Lake, I mean, coming into a district championship, that's awesome, especially coming into year 2. That's a huge accomplishment.
No one's seen us coming, right, Kyle? No one's seen us coming, and no one expected us. We were predicted to be dead last in the district. Okay, I knew that what we had. Our kids have heart, and we're going to show some heart on Friday night.
And everybody's looking forward to that game. That's going to be our game of the week, Lake Minneola High against South Lake High. It's going to be a fantastic game. If you can, definitely get out to that game, because it's going to be a great football game between 2 schools that are going after it. And they're 2 schools, too, that, I mean, things happened to Lake Minneola High. I mean, it just did. Things happened to South Lake High. They're back on the mend. Both teams are going for it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, because the open door policy of South Lake kids going to Lake Minneola, we're trying to shut that down. And to be honest with you, Coach Birchfield, and I've talked to him, and Coach McGlynn and we want to coach the kids we're zoned for. We want to do that. And we want to keep our kids at our schools. And I think all three guys are going to do a pretty good job of that.
Well, you mentioned that too, because not to get too much in depth with this, but with the Florida choice, you're able to choose the high school you want to go to. So that's been a little challenging, I would say, to navigate.
Well, especially with the three schools that are so close, right? You got Eastridge, Mineola, and South Lake. They're all right here.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect storm, right, for that open door policy. And, but I think right now, I mean, as long as we keep our kids and we coach our kids up and the kids know we love them, I mean, they're going to stay.
The growth of the community, though, is
big.
just exploding.
It is. And I believe there's a school getting built at Four Corners. I don't know when it's. I think they said 5 years. I think.
Yeah.
And then who knows what's going to go out towards. I mean,
Yeah, they got
Mascot.
they had the Horizon
I
one
mean,
recently.
Mascot's getting built up.
Yeah.
And then of course the villages keep coming. I'm wondering if they're going to gobble up all of Orange County too soon.
They
So
might. They're on the way.
they can have 9 schools with beautiful stadiums. I talked to Coach Pettis. He said, 2-year contract, our place, your place. And I'm like, no, your place, your place.
I saw the kids' eyes light up when they went into the villages, because it's almost like a professional stadium.
It's unbelievable. If you haven't played there, high school coaches, get the villages on your schedule, because it is a beautiful place to play a football game.
It is a fantastic place.
I didn't like that the game went on to 10:45 for all the yellow flags all over the laundry, and it was on both sides. All right, but I don't think we got out of that game, Kyle, to like 10:30. That was the latest game I've ever coached.
Yeah, I didn't get home till nearly midnight, so it was a late one for sure, Coach. But a really cool facility out there. They're actually hosting the Rural District the state championships this year, which is really exciting, I think, for our area to host that.
I think once it gets built up out there, they'll be hosting everything, right? Because I think the way the state championships are set up, they miss the Camping World Stadium, or is it called that anymore?
Yeah, it's still called Camping World. Yeah.
All right. Well, they miss it there because it was centralized, right? The teams have to go all the way north. Now you got hotel expenses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In the central, it was. So I think the Villages is a perfect spot. I mean, I love it. Coach Pettis runs an unbelievable show up there. So professional. I'm excited. Next week I get to go to the FACA meeting up there, the All-Star District FACA meeting up there. I'm sure he'll have some good food for us.
Yeah, they host the All-Star game up there.
Yep.
A lot of South Lake players, of course, part of that. And East Ridge and
Like
Villages.
Kevin Charles last year played running back in it. I think we'll have a couple in there this year.
It's very exciting. We're going to take one more short break here on the Sports Hub. We'll come back and wrap up next with Coach Brad Lord with South Lake High School.
Are you ready for your future to take flight? Whether you're graduating high school or looking to level up, Lake Sumter State College offers affordable degrees and certificates that will punch your ticket to success in a rewarding career. Plus, with programs like Direct Connect to UCF, your opportunities with LSSC are endless. So, what are you waiting for? Join us in Leesburg, Claremont, Sumterville, Four Corners, or online. Learn more at lssc.edu.
Everybody, welcome back to the Sports Hub podcast, talking with Brad Lord, with the head coach of South Lake High School. And Brad, a big game this weekend against Lake Mineola High.
Yeah, we're excited. Get to play the Hawks and Coach McGlynn. So we're trying to get ready for him. We playing a prestigious program that's been doing a lot of things. They're in the playoffs all the time. They've gone to Final Fours. I think they played in the state championship. They did a few years back. So it's a privilege to play them, but we're going to go out and give our best. Our kids have worked hard and played hard all year, so I expect them to go out, play hard, and do their jobs.
What is your message to your team as you're coming out of the locker room?
Enjoy every moment, every play, give your best, and lay it all on the field.
And hopefully you're able to lay it on the field. The way that you're playing this year, 5 and 3 record. You're looking really good down the stretch here. Coming into the final game, you got this one, and then you've got a game against Leesburg High School, which Leesburg's coming to your place as well.
Correct. We'll think about that next week, though.
Yeah, but
I'm not thinking about anything but Mineola.
You're focused on that district.
I mean, we play. I told you, our non-district games, I was going to make them tough.
Yeah.
We weren't going to play any patsies. I know there's some patsies out there. I won't name them, and some of these teams have played those patsies, and I just won't do it.
Yeah, coming down the home stretch. Can you believe we're in the last 2 games of the regular season here?
Yeah, I've been at this a long time.
Yeah. It goes by quickly.
It does. It does. And, both Mineola and Southlake will still probably have playoff opportunities no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Our goal is win the district, the playoffs take care of themselves for both. And I'm sure Mike's telling his guys the same thing. We don't want them to start focusing and projecting. We want them to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
And I know Mike's telling his kids the same thing.
Well, good luck this weekend, Coach. We're really looking forward to it. And good luck on the district championship. This will be huge for Southlake if they're able to pull this off.
Yeah, and I'll get you that shirt, Kyle. I can't believe I haven't put up a shirt here. I'm going to get on Coach Holly and make sure he gets one out here.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you having me on. It's exciting. Our kids are excited. It's cool that Southlake's being in the spotlight because it was out of the spotlight for so long.
Yeah,
It's
really
good
is.
that we're back in it a little bit.
100% agree with you. They're, tough year 2 years ago with the 0-10 record. You turned things around last year. This year, you're going for a district championship. That's what it's about, my friend.
Well, I thank God I have a great coaching staff. I get to eat pizza and watch them coach.
Well, good luck this weekend against Lake Mineola. We wish you the best of luck, Coach.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here on the Sports Hub. Want to thank Brad Lord for coming on to the program. Want to thank UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics and Lake Sumter State College. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. We'll see you on the next edition of the Sports Hub.
This has been the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopedics.